something I really want to talk about. In April 2025, Katy Perry found herself at the center of public backlash after participating in the Blue Origin suborbital flight along Jeff Bezos' fiancée, Lauren Sanchez, and others. The mission was intended as a celebratory all-women space tourism promotional event. What a fucking sentence to say. And it was met with widespread ridicule. Critics accused the participants of being, quote, performative and questioned the authenticity and value of the flight, especially given the high cost and minimal scientific impact. Duh.
Can I just say about this picture? You know, they made Ocean's 11 the all-female version. This looks like they made Space Force the all-female version.
Further controversy arose when U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy criticized labeling the participants like Katy Perry as, quote, astronauts, referencing FAA criteria. Duffy acknowledged the crew's bravery, but stated they did not qualify for the title of astronauts. The memes were relentless against Katy. This one's great. Gayle King confirms Katy Perry sang in space. No wonder they came back so quickly. Zing! Got him!
I feel like Gayle King is a good space hang for some reason. Like,
no, yeah, I would agree. That's the thing is that, like, I would totally go to space with Gayle King.
Pigeons when I eat croissants outdoors. An A+ meme. Great meme all around. Great job. Now, the rest I'm going to show you are forwards from Grandma. You know, big difference in space stories today. Katy Perry kissed the ground after a quick 11-minute joyride with Blue Origin, while the real astronauts like Serena Williams stayed stuck on the International Space Station for months doing critical work. So I just want to point this out. This always comes up on the fucking internet, and it really, really bothers me. This is called a false equivalence, or, you know, a false analogy fallacy, it's usually called.
Yes.
Blue Origin is a private space tourism company, and the International Space Station is a bunch of governments working together on space and engineering. The two have no correlation. Did you expect Katy Perry to go up to the International Space Station and get them down? Because you know what, Grandma? If you did care about science, you would have known that they're already back. They've been back for a month.
Yeah.
She can't do anything.
What world do we live in? What are we talking about anymore?
I know. This was basically every joke online. Those astronauts who were stuck in 8 months watching Katy Perry kiss the ground after 10 minutes. I saw several different versions of this, some extremely low quality, some higher quality. Katy Perry is now an astronaut. I guess that makes me an airline pilot.
If your name's Hamish, you're not allowed to.
But by far the worst meme, the one that offended me the most. Katy Perry returned to Earth from her space visit, and upon exiting the capsule, knelt down and kissed the ground. I guess you could say she kissed the ground and she liked it. So many notes.
Yeah.
I got so many notes. One, this is the longest way to say this. I mean, good God. And you give the punchline away in the setup, you idiot. And you have an obvious error, the. This is an F meme. For many, this incident wasn't really about the flight. It just kind of symbolized a broader issue. Katy Perry was once a beloved pop icon, and now she appears increasingly out of touch with the public. Her most recent albums have flopped, and she seems hated for almost everything she attempts. So what has happened here? Let's explore. This is the trial of Katy Perry.
Ooh.
Katy Perry was born Catherine Elizabeth Hudson on October 25th, 1984, in Santa Barbara, California. Oh my God. She grew up in a strict Pentecostal Christian household with her parents, Keith and Mary Hudson, who were both evangelical pastors. Secular music was banned from her house. Catherine began singing in church as a child and was exposed primarily to gospel music, and she showed an early interest in performing, singing in the church, and at the age of 9 is when she started doing this. As a teenager, she briefly pursued a career in gospel music, releasing a self-titled gospel album in 2001 under her original name.
Yeah, only reason that I live is Christ come down and died for you and me. I gotta live
That sucked.
Those lyrics.
If this is what pentagonal Christians have to offer, I'm not into it.
Unsurprisingly, the album flopped. She transitioned to secular music then, adopting her new stage name, Katy Perry, using her mother's maiden name. She moved to Los Angeles, all the way from Santa Barbara, really far. She moved to LA at 17, and she struggled for a while recording various labels and writing songs for other people. Her big break finally came in 2008 when she released One of the Boys, which featured the hit song I Kissed a Girl, and the song's success catapulted her into pop stardom. 2 years later, in 2010, she released the album Teenage Dream, an album that produced 5 #1 singles.
It's a great album. It is
It's
a
a
great
great
pop album.
The first 4 songs.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that.
Let's
And then
let's
E.T.
not disclude the 5th song.
The Peacock
Yeah.
song.
By the way, this tied a record for most singles on an album. Do you know what album it tied?
Ooh, I'm going to guess it's a Beatles. No, I'm going to say it's Thriller, Michael Jackson.
Might be like a Whitney Houston, but I would be really sad.
Well, I'm gonna go with Michael Jackson, but I'm not gonna go Thriller. I'm gonna go Off the Wall.
Ooh,
Okay.
you both were so close.
it
It's
bad?
Michael Jackson Bad.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
This and this same number of #1s. This
And they
This.
look eerily similar too.
They do.
one of these people has been to space though.
Yes, it's true.
Michael Jackson in his movie Moonwalker.
Yeah.
She headlined the Super Bowl halftime show in 2015. You all remember that? Everybody loved that. Everybody was loving it. Delivering one of the a great performance. Giant tigers, beach balls, and of course, legendary Left Shark.
Oh, a meme in its own right.
Yes,
Yep.
2015 memes, you guys. Oh, the 2015 memes. I miss them
Telling
so
you.
much. Her persona was fun, theatrical, and self-aware, and a deliberate embrace of pop maximalism.
Oh, I get it. Cans. They're cans.
Yeah,
they're
cans.
Oh,
She did a lot of stuff
wow.
with mostly her boobs. Like anything boobs was.
It was very Madonna-esque.
Yeah, boobs
Yeah.
were her brand, really.
Besides Left Shark, we might have forgotten about this one. This was a short-lived meme. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again? And this is a still from American Beauty. And then they could do that with other things like this one.
Oh man.
Oh, the dub.
And the best one, how Katy Perry feels on a regular basis. So while no one ever took Katy Perry seriously, her public image slowly started to fade. Perry's 2017 album Witness marked a notable departure from her previous sound and style. It attempted to be more political and aligned with the activist tone at the time, but the rollout felt really forced, and it got bad reviews. The singles underperformed, and Pitchfork said this, The Witness is a confounding combination of songwriting sloppiness and sleepiness. Broad strokes are really the best Perry can hope for these days.
Ooh. Damn it.
Jeez.
Is this also the album that had that horrendous basketball music video that became like a meme in its own right? This is a music video for babies.
Perry became a judge on American Idol, and that
Yeah.
further complicated her image. Clips of her awkward interactions with contestants went viral, often for the wrong reasons.
Is it her always being thirsty for the one random hot guy that always walks in?
Her being on that show, it did not do well. And then 2023, she came up with another album, 143, aimed to recapture her earlier success, but it fell short. Reviews were also very brutal and not very nice. So it was all downhill from there. And honestly, I feel like our cultural tastes have evolved. I can't believe I'm fucking saying that after where we are, but you know, the carefully curated pop star archetype that Katy Perry was embodying and kind of making fun of is now gone. Taylor Swift, she rebranded and became a self-referential auteur, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Billie Eilish was kind of like the anti-pop star aesthetic. And then now Doja Cat, it's just like chaotic, meme-savvy internet presence. I feel like this kind of is the closest thing that Katy Perry was.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, So while Perry still, commands a loyal fan base, I know there's going to be some people in the comments. The public conversation, though, has shifted on her. And moments like the astronaut stuff are no longer seen as like charming and eccentric. They're seen as out of touch with reality. Now, with that said, remember this jackass? Sean Duffy said that Katy Perry wasn't an astronaut, and everyone got all upset because she thought that she was, right? Katy Perry never said she was an astronaut. I went through all her socials. Sean Duffy and everybody else has just made up an argument for themselves to win. Now, are her socials vapid? Yes, they're very shallow. But she never said she was an astronaut. If anything, the entire time she was like trying to give it to other people. There's so many women on this flight. So many. And all I heard people complaining about was the pop star. I can go down this whole list of pawns, no matter how much you like these people. They're all pawns just the same. I could tell you why they should be made fun of, but I'm not going to do that because that anger would be misplaced, just like the anger for Katy Perry. This is who we have a problem with. A real-life Lex Luthor, you guys. Yes. The owner and operator of Blue Origin. None of the famous people. Yeah. This man has far too much wealth for one person. Everyone knows there's only so much money in the world. So if one jackass hoards it and takes it out of circulation, that fucks everybody. Did you know that if you liquidated this man's wealth and spread it to every single person on the planet, we would all get $25?
That's pretty fucking wild.
That is wild.
That is an insane fact. Here's some more facts about Rocket Boy. If all of Jeff's income streams were suddenly shut off, if you just cut off all his money and he just had it sitting there, if he spent $1 million a day, how long do you think it would take him to spend all his money? If he spent $1 million a day? Yeah.
200 years.
I mean, 200 sounds like a good number, and I'm really bad at guessing games like this because I don't want to sound stupid. So
say 201. Say 201. Say 201.
201.
You are correct. 656 years.
Oh my God.
This means that his money would run out in the year 2681. In real life, this amount of money has a ripple effect for 26 generations. So your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren, way even more than that, will be affected by this amount of money. And that's if he stopped making money right now, but the boy's not stopping. That's not going to happen, baby. He's got a lot of money. So currently, Jeff Bezos makes $2,500 every second. If you do the math, that's $150,000 every minute. That is more than the median U.S. household income. Do you want to guess? If you worked at Amazon, how long does it take to make $2,500?
1 billion years.
No.
A month.
I'd say like a week.
3.5 weeks. This is, and I'm not counting taxes. So it's really double that. That's how long it takes. And that's it. I put it at $18 an hour. That's at the high end. And that's if you started working at the Chicago one. I just looked it up. The average NFL team is worth $5.1 billion. Jeff Bezos could buy them all and he'd still have $30 to $70 billion left. This is insane. The fact that I have to explain Jeff Bezos' wealth, like how you have to explain the size of fucking planets to people, is fucking insane. And speaking of which, if the median American household income of $122,000 was represented by a planet, let's say Venus here, which is just slightly smaller than Earth, it's about 88% the size of Earth. Jeff Bezos would be the fucking sun. And this isn't to scale, by the way. If you know space stuff, if you're a fucking nerd like me, this is what it actually is. We're that teeny tiny dot that you probably can't even see with the shitty fucking stream quality. And Jeff Bezos is that fucking monster right there.
Good God. That really does put it in perspective, especially when you start thinking about, hey, medium household average. I'm not meeting that either.
Yeah.
Shit.
So I'm sorry, no one person should be worth this much money. You either have to cheat the system or buy the system, and there's no ethical way someone like this can gain this amount of wealth in a lifetime, allegedly. I have to say allegedly. And everyone's mad at this fucking girl? Everyone's mad at Katy Perry? Come on, you guys. All this Katy Perry hate is really just misguided Jeff Bezos hate. That's always been the goal with this monster.
He went from creep Kevin Spacey to Vin Diesel really fast.
Yeah.
His plan was always, hey, fill the flight with a bunch of women, gain a bunch of publicity points, throw in some fading celebrities and one actual smart person. There's one smart person in there. Boom, focus pulled. And if that doesn't work, for good measure, make your rocket look like a massive dong.
Yeah, and might I add, Blue Origin does sound like a Viagra alternative to give somebody their first erection.
Yeah.
Like they've literally never, they've literally never gotten one. And they were like, here's a Blue Origin. Like, I can do this all the time.
Oh my God. The doctor said it would never happen. They said, your boy will never get a boner. The doctor said, and I went through surgery after surgery and no boner. I was constantly just looking at porn, trying to get a boner. Nothing.
And then I took Blue Origin and
thanks, Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is 1,000% guilty, and I'm going to say this because she's done it to herself, and she's also an evil person. But this stupid frog-faced fiance was also on the flight, and everybody ignored her. This woman's 56 years old. She looks like she's still on the rocket right now. Fucking. So when you look at this photo, you guys, this is not what you should see. What you should really see is this.
Wow.
So Katy Perry is guilty of being a pop star whose star is faded. Doing this rocket stuff, big nothing burger to me. Don't really care. Katy Perry, not guilty. Jeff Bezos is guilty.
Yes.
The bulls are his head.
Yeah. And I wrote this, by the way, you guys said at the beginning, and I guarantee you something worse will happen with this bullshit. Mm-hmm. If you really care about space flight, give your fucking money to NASA or pay your fair share in taxes, and we'll all be able to go together instead of just rich people.
Innocent on that one.
I learned
innocent
a lot.
To Katy Perry.
That's
right.
True.
The lyric
maybe
was,
some of the
"Swish,
ideas
bitch," was the chorus.
I remember it now that somebody said that. I like deleted it from my mind.
Because that was another one where that video dropped, and that was like for 3 or 4 days on the internet. That was all people were talking about. Katie, you were also innocent on that, right?
Yeah, Katy Perry. Like, look, I feel like there's a lot going on with Katy Perry, and you know, a lot of us are just trying to make ends meet, and even millionaires, they're trying their damnedest. They're throwing everything at the wall.
Hey, $400 million isn't what it used to be anymore.
It's really not.
It's not.
It's really not.
Not.
I got an absolute stitch from laughing at. We're all trying to make ends meet. Describing Katy Perry as just like she's just an average Joe at the end of the day. she straps her boots on and she's like, time to go get that check.
Swish, swish, bish, she said as she walked out the door. Ready to work.
She puts on her chrome metallic top the same way we all do. You know, one boob at a time.
One at a time in each can.
Yeah, one can at a time.